Every now and then, a movie comes along that feels like something you could only ever wish for. It's too big, it's too risky, it's too ambitious to ever get made, and yet, here you are in the theater watching it. This was the feeling that I had while I was watching Kalki 2898 AD.
ఈ వరల్డ్ లో చివరి నగరం కాశీ పైన నీళ్లుంటాయంట.
భూమిని మొత్తం పీల్చేస్తే అన్నీ అక్కడే ఉంటాయి. ఈ లోకంలో ఉన్నది కాంప్లెక్స్ ఒక్కటే, దేవుడు ఒక్కడే సుప్రీం యాస్కిన్.
నీలాంటోడు ఎంత మందిని రక్షించొచ్చో తెలుసా?
నేను రక్షించాల్సిందే ఒక్కరిని.
6000 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం కనిపించింది. ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఆ పవర్ వచ్చిందంటే ఇక వెలుగు వచ్చే సమయం అయింది.
So I talk about a lot of Hollywood movies in my videos, but I am a huge Telugu movie fan, and I was very excited for this movie. Rajamouli's RRR was kind of like my gateway drug to Telugu cinema, and since then I have just done a deep dive where I've watched almost 100 Telugu movies. The Telugu movies that I've watched deliver great action, their music is unmatched, and I feel like they give me these larger-than-life heroes in the way that I really want from a blockbuster movie experience. So RRR led me down this rabbit hole where I started doing a deep dive, and from there I was looking at Ram Charan movies, I was looking at Allu Arjun movies, I was looking at Rana Dagubadi movies, and then of course I was looking at Prabhas movies. And that led me to Bahubali, which is just one of the most immersive and beautiful and fantastic films of all time. So at this point, I've watched Bahubali 1 and 2 like 600 times. I have a huge crush on Prabhas, and I'm sad because I have yet to experience seeing him on the big screen. And that's where we get to Salar Part 1.
మన ఆర్మీ ఎక్కడుంది?
పెద్ద పెద్ద గోడలు కట్టేదే భయపడి. బయటికి ఎవడిపోతాడని కాదు, లోపలికి ఎవడొస్తాడని.
This was my first experience with seeing Prabhas in theaters, and as much as I loved watching him at home streaming on my TV, he is made for the big screen. Obviously, he's very handsome, but he's also got a screen presence that's just unmatched. So knowing all this, I was really, really excited when they started releasing little teasers and bits of information about Kalki. I was counting down the days till it got released, and then it got pushed back, and I was like, I just want to see this movie. So finally, I sat down in the theater, and I got to watch this epic blending of sci-fi and Hindu mythology and amazing creative ideas, and I was just blown away.
సరే, ఇంక చాలు. ఎన్ని యుగాలైనా ఎన్ని అవకాశాలిచ్చినా మనిషి మారలేడు.
I have seen criticism of this movie that says that the first half is a little shaky in terms of some of the comedy doesn't land, some of the tonal shifts feel weird, and I think those things are valid. Those are actual concerns. But for me personally, I do not care. The second half of this movie is so strong that I just kind of don't care about any missteps in the first half. I love the world building in this movie. I feel like you can see the inspiration from Blade Runner and Star Wars and Dune and all these sci-fi classics, but I feel like Ashwin has taken all that and produced his own thing with it. So it still feels super unique and creative. The cameos in this are such a delight. The audience in my theater was going crazy when someone like Ram Gopal Varma or Dulquer Salman or Vijay Deverakonda or SS Rajamouli himself showed up in this movie. Rajamouli actually has my favorite cameo in this movie, not just because he's great, but because we get a really good meta joke about the very long production schedule for Bahubali. The action in this movie is excellent. There's a fight scene between Amitabh Bachchan and Prabhas, and I loved every frame of it. So I know that Kalki 2898 AD probably works way better if you're well-versed in Hindu mythology and Indian cinema, and I know a little bit about one of those things, but I will say that I saw this this with someone who is not that familiar with either, and they also had a blast. So look, I'm not saying Kalki is flawless. I'm not saying this is up there with Bahubali. I'm not saying this is Rajamouli level, but it's pretty damn close. But I will say that if you didn't get a chance to see RRR in the theaters during its theatrical run, this is probably the closest experience that you can get.